Good afternoon. I just would like to sit down with you for just a minute to talk about the observation that I was able to sit in on you the other day. And I just wanted to have a conversation. So I don't want it to feel as if it's just me talking to you, but I also want to hear your feedbacks and your thoughts on some of the things that I noticed during your lesson on the other day. So, how did you think you did? Okay. So, let me give you a few insights that I seen, and we're going to talk about this conversation is going to go over some of your strengths, and it's also going to go over any areas of growth that I see that can be made, and also just some tools that you can use towards any growth to or challenges or hurdles that you might can overcome to reach the growth that you want to see at the end of the school year, and some strategies. So in doing your observation, I noticed that some of your strengths, I like the warm-up activity that you did with your students with the pizza. I felt like that was a nice little icebreaker, something to get their minds open and to get excited about learning. Um, as a person that likes numbers, I felt like it was really cool for you to make a pizza and a pie out of a pie or volume equation. Um, I also feel like you are very invested in the content. I think that you know your content well, and I think you did not struggle at all in explaining the information. So, kudos to you for being an expert in your area, and that I felt that you were the expert in the room when observing you. Um, Here is my suggestion or observation on the area of growth. Off the back, I would say that engagement, especially during a virtual setting, is important. And I feel um, if a student knows that his teacher is not going to require that full engagement, they may be off watching TV while you're on. They may be logged in, but they might not be engaged. So I feel like to touch on engagement, it should be some call and responses or ways that the students have to engage with you, not just one or two students, but a full circle of whoever's in the classroom and engaging and seeking that input. And whenever you may not get that input, that's when it's time to acknowledge that student and call them to the table of the classroom. And if you don't get a response for them, then you can follow up in other directions to make sure that they are staying engaged. But also, don't automatically assume that a student that is online is actually sitting in front of the camera. We have to make sure we check in and get those checks and balances to know that that child is engaged and is in front of the class learning, because class is still going on. Class, even if it's in a virtual setting, it is taking the seat hours of a person that is in class. Um, I did, and to circle back to another strength, I did find that I like how you did your breakout sessions. I felt like your small groups were spot on, where you're helping and supporting the needs of tier one, tier two, and tier three students. A suggestion to gauge more of where to grow from or have a baseline data on your students is to bring it back into that independent practice. So, yes, you have those small groups available for support on the lesson, but also did that support work or help that student master that content or that SOL or standard of learning for that student. So you want to have some type of assessment. It could be a exit ticket or some type of independent practice to show, hey, I didn't get that student that didn't get the small group support. Hey, I still see you. I understand that you're our strong learner, and I will like to acknowledge that through this assessment to see that you grasp that concept. Because let's not assume that just because he is or he felt the need, because again, in your lesson, you made the suggestion of that student volunteering to those small groups, that they actually belong in those groups and that they still are getting the support they need. So we want to bring it back to an independent practice. Those are my suggestions, and I think that will help you along the way.